Good morning from beautiful Riga, our last stop actually, before we head out to Barcelona for our big weddings. But of course I didn't want to miss to make another video for you guys. So today I actually want to talk about the AI hype train, right? Because everybody seemingly is talking about AI. Every kind of financial publication you read, it's always talking about which AI stocks to invest in. I think it has a valid reason because obviously AI is amazing. I use it myself every day. I'm sure you do as well. I even signed up for the paid ChatGPT version because I really think it brings so much benefits and still a lot of people are not using it. And I genuinely think it unlocks so many opportunities, possibilities. I also now started using Google Bard, which in my eyes is not quite there yet, but in certain things it does do a better job. But at the moment I'm really loving ChatGPT. I use it for pretty much most things. I really try it myself to force to use it and adapt to new technology so that I'm not left behind, because it's very easy to talk critically about it and all the dangers of AI. And obviously there are certain dangers, I get it, but so are dangers with the internet, right? I mean, you can do good things with the internet and you can do bad things with the internet. So I think it always depends on how we use it, but not using it, I really think is not the smartest idea. And I really love the saying, you're not going to be replaced by AI, but by a person using AI. So I think that's really smart, and therefore I'm definitely going to force myself to use it more and more. So I surely get the whole appeal about AI stocks, and everybody wants a piece of it, right? It's now the latest trend, right? Before it was crypto, then it was EV cars, now it is AI. And I genuinely don't think it's a fad that comes and then goes in a year or two. I think AI is definitely going to be one of those technologies that's here to stay. Right now it's something new and hot, but I think over time, obviously we're just getting used to it. It will develop over time, and it's just one of those technologies that everybody will know and come to live with. But as you know, I like to listen to company earnings calls, and these days it's almost impossible to listen to any company without mentioning the word of AI. Now even pharma companies are getting into AI, and I think it's also a good thing because obviously they're using some of those AI to develop better medical devices or pharma products. So I really think there's so much untapped potential really utilizing AI. So I definitely think AI is here to stay, and all of us should have some kind of allocation to it. Now a lot of people say, which company should I invest in to capitalize the most on AI? And I really think it's not winner take all. I think winner takes more. Yes, the right company might take more market share, but I don't think they will take entire market share. They said when Microsoft invested into ChatGPT so much money that now they're going to dominate AI in the future. And I generally don't think that's the correct way to go about it, because there's going to be other people that will capitalize on that and develop their own language model. I mean, Google technically was a little bit late to the game, but now they're really catching up with Bard, which, by the way, if you have a great AI, why don't you just look for a better name? I mean, that name for me is just weird, but anyway, I guess eventually we're going to get used to it. But my point is, I don't think we necessarily have to look for the best companies, because in the future, I do believe most of the big companies, successful companies, are going to be some kind of AI company. I mean, obviously look at Apple, Google, Amazon, Adobe, PayPal, payment providers in general. And now even Tesla now said they will develop their own form of AI, which will be some kind of ChatGPT alternative. But in fact, they've already been a huge AI player. In fact, most of those companies are already big AI companies and have been for many years. I mean, Google, right? The search algorithm is basically AI. It's an automated process, an algorithm that does the decision depending on each individual user. Tesla with the self-driving car abilities. I mean, that's all AI, right? Basically. So in that way, AI is really nothing new. It's now only the difference that we as users can actually have access to it and use it. There's going to be different APIs where you can use ChatGPT and integrate it with different softwares and programs. So now we just feel it's more tangible, but it's always been there. And that's why for me personally, I really can't invest only into AI hype stocks right now, such as Nvidia or C3 AI. And while I do think they're going to have a promising future and a bright upside most likely, and I might be missing out on some gains. First of all, they're not paying any dividends, so for me they're not really that attractive. And second of all, the evaluations at the moment are just sky high. Nvidia at the moment is around 50 PE, price per earnings. So you're going to be paying 50 times the price of the earnings per share, and for me it's just humongous. I mean, Apple is around 30. Some of the other companies I invest in are around 15 to 20 to 25. So 50 is a huge premium you pay just to be part of the hype train. And I generally think a lot of the gains are already priced in. So for them to grow even more, I think they really have to outperform a lot of the promises and predictions that analysts are making. So yeah, look, while I'm really happy for people to make the gains, I think there is potential. For me, it's just a little bit too hot, too speculative. And once again, I'm a long-term investor. Right now, we're really looking at short to mid-term. But long-term, I think there's going to be other players as well who will really benefit from it, build up their own ecosystem, etc. So I don't think necessarily Nvidia is going to capture it all. Plus, let's not forget with the whole situation with China and US and the chip shortage, obviously more and more players will move to the US, develop their own chips, etc. Tesla also said they're going to develop their own chips like Apple did as well, right? They used to always use Intel chips. Now they started developing their own chips, obviously together with TSMC from Taiwan. but basically the in-house chip production. So more and more companies will do that. So that will definitely put pressure on Nvidia. And that's what I'm saying. Short to midterm, it might be great play. Long term, I really think things will kind of normalize. And again, different companies with strong fundamentals will shine over the long term. And for me, it was also interesting to listen to the last Apple presentation where Tim Cook presented, all the latest Apple updates, etc. And then finished with the one big thing, the Apple Pro Vision, which is their kind of take on AR. And personally, I think it's really a smart move. Obviously, it's the first device in that category that will evolve over time. But I think really that's a long-term future for Apple. I think eventually we're all going to have that. I really think it's a better version to have AR than VR, where you see nobody. But anyway, that's a topic for another video. But funnily enough, Tim Cook and Apple across the entire presentation didn't use AI once. And as I said to you before, most other companies, every second sentence is about AI. So I really like how Apple makes it a very natural part of their process, right? Because as I said before, every company is going to be some kind of AI company. And we as investors, we don't know how good is the code, how good is the algorithm behind it. So you want to invest into company fundamentals, and it's not about how good is the AI. Obviously, the AI has to be good in order to generate more revenues and get more users for the services or products. So naturally, it has to be a good AI, but the AI itself can't be the core of the company. I think there's so many more parts to a successful company. So long story short, I generally believe AI is the future. It's here to stay, and we definitely should capitalize it and use it to our own advantage. Investing into AI, I think it's a smart move, but I personally would recommend not to go all in and chase the latest trend, whatever you see online where people say you have to invest into those stocks. Do your own due diligence and only invest in companies that you would also otherwise invest in if they have strong fundamentals and a long-term growth outlook that really excites you and is positive. All right, I have to run to the airport now as I have to catch my plane to Spain. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I see you in the next one. Hasta luego. Ciao.